Aldehyde reacts with equal amount of an alcohol to form an additional product called hemiacetal. Similarly, ketones react with alcohol to form hemiketal. In the case of monosaccharides such as glucose and fructose, there is an aldehyde or keto group and many OH groups. Hence, there is a possibility for intramolecular hemiacetal or hemiketal formation. This can result in a cyclic structure. So, the general equation is RCHO plus ROH giving the addition product RCOH HOR. This is the structure of hemiacetal. If we consider D-glucose, it has a CHO group and many OH groups. The CHO group reacts with the OH group of carbon number 5. CHO and the OH of carbon number 5 reacts to form hemiacetal, and thus we get a cyclic structure. When the cyclic structure is formed, a new chiral center is introduced because the C double bond O will change to COH and carbon will form a bond with the oxygen of the alcohol group, and thus a new chiral center is generated. So it can have two different configurations with OH on the right side or OH on the left side. The first one is called the alpha isomer or alpha D-glucose, and the other one is called beta D-glucose. As it forms a six-membered ring with oxygen, the ring is called pyranose ring, and hence it is named as alpha D glucopyranose. The diastereomeric ring forms differing in configuration only at one chiral center produced due to cyclization are called anomers. And the new chiral center is called the anomeric carbon. This chiral center is formed due to cyclization and it is called the anomeric carbon. In beta D-glucopyranose, the configuration at the anomeric carbon is different from that of the alpha D-glucopyranose. In the cyclic representation, the groups on the right side of the Fisher projection are represented towards the bottom, and groups on the left side of the Fisher projection are represented towards the top. The structures of alpha D-glucopyranose and beta D-glucopyranose are shown here. Comparing these two structures, we can understand that the configuration is only different at the anomeric carbon. In anomeric carbon, in the alpha isomer, the OH group is towards the bottom and H towards the top. And in beta D-glucopyranose, the position of the groups are reversed. Thus, alpha D-glucopyranose and beta D-glucopyranose are diastereomeric ring forms, in which the configuration is different only at the new chiral center produced due to cyclization, and hence they are anomers. Next is mutarotation. The change in specific rotation of a sugar solution with time until a constant equilibrium value is reached is called mutarotation. The specific rotation of freshly prepared solution of alpha D glucose is plus 112.2 degree. This value gradually falls until it reaches plus 52.7 and remains steady. If we take the crystals of beta D glucose and dissolve it in water, the specific rotation rises from 18.7 degree to a steady value of 52.7. This change in specific rotation until a constant equilibrium value of 52.7 is reached is called the mutarotation of glucose. The alpha isomer gets converted to beta isomer through the open chain D-glucose. If we take an equilibrium mixture, it contains alpha form, beta form and the open chain form. The proportion of open chain form is very less compared to alpha form and the beta form. The small concentration of the open chain form in the solution is responsible for the reactions of glucose that are typical of aldehydes. And alpha form and beta form do not give the reactions of aldehydes. Only the open chain form, due to the presence of CHO group, answers the test for aldehyde groups. Next is the cyclic structure of fructose. In fructose, the carbonyl group is at the carbon number 2, and this carbon forms hemiketal with the OH group of carbon number 6. The structure of alpha D fructopyranose is shown here. This is the anomeric carbon. In the alpha form, the OH is towards the bottom and the CH2OH group is towards the top. And in the beta form, the configuration at the anomeric carbon is reversed. That is, OH is represented at the top and CH2OH group towards the bottom. Functions of carbohydrates. The living organisms use carbohydrates as accessible energy for the cellular reactions. Carbohydrates are the most abundant dietary source of energy for all living organisms. Glucose is broken down by glycolysis and Krebs cycle to give ATP. Carbohydrates serve as energy stores, fuels, and metabolic intermediates. It is stored as glycogen in animals and starch in plants. Carbohydrates form structural and protective components like cell wall for plants and microorganisms. Carbohydrates are intermediates in the biosynthesis of fats and proteins. They aid in the regulation of nerve tissue and is the energy source for brain. Carbohydrates get associated with lipids and proteins to form surface antigens, receptor molecules, vitamins, etc. They form the structural framework of RNA and DNA. They are linked to many proteins and lipids. Such linked carbohydrates are important in cell-cell communication and in interaction between cells and other elements in the cellular environment. In animals, they are an important constituent of connective tissues. Carbohydrates that are rich in fiber content help to prevent constipation. Also, they help in the modulation of immune system of living organisms.